What's up? I want to get into a little testimonial of a program that I used that has really helped me in my movements, in gaining confidence, in reducing back pain. And full disclosure, I had this gentleman, Mitch Van Beek, on my podcast, and he did allow me into the movement library of this program for free. But he has not paid me anything. There's no payment that has been exchanged. He did allow me into the program for free, and I've used the program. I'm going to show some of the movements on the right side while I talk about the program. So enjoy, and feel free to check this program out. It's called Move Pain Free, and we'll get into it right now. Thanks. Hey guys, I wanted to tell you I'm on day 66 of the Move Pain Free Recode program, and let me tell you how it's affected me. So I had a spinal fusion, L4, L5, about 3 years ago. And ever since then, ever since I got fully healed about a year after the process, I had a lot of inconsistencies with my back. Didn't really trust myself, bending down, picking things up a lot. Sometimes I would feel like my pelvis was out of place. So there was different things I would have to do some sort of squat stuff and put it back into place. I believe it fixed imbalances as well. So I would always have pain in my left shoulder when I would bench press, and always a little bit of pain right here when my pec connects to my armpit. That stuff has worked itself out. After the surgery, I would do push-ups, I would do bench press, but I would always feel it here. That is totally going away. It's not totally gone yet, but the improvement is so great, and I have nothing else to attribute it to than this program, because this is the only thing I've changed. So what the program has really done for me is given me confidence in my movement, whether that be running, sprinting, walking, lifting weights, whatever it may be. It's given me confidence and certainty in my movement. Guys, I encourage you to get a movement assessment with Mitch. He really pointed out some of the flaws in my movement and some of the things that could be causing back pain when my lower body and my upper body are not in sync, not moving the same way at the same time when they should be. Having that knowledge really helped me fix the issues. First, see them with my own eyes, then start to see them change. For example, my feet were pointed out a lot. I'm starting to see those come in when I walk. When I stand, they seem to be pointing straight, how Mitch explained to me. And if I didn't get the movement assessment, I believe it would have been harder for me to really see what I need to change and then go ahead and change it. Once I hit the 90 days and I'm done with the program, it's not something I'm going to throw in the trash. So there are different movements that have become my favorite. There's different movements that help me more than other movements. And I think that's something you're going to have to find out with your unique situation. But this is definitely something that will carry on. I'll carry it with me throughout the rest of my life, because it has helped me with my movement and with my confidence in doing movements. Guys, one thing I recommend is getting a movement assessment from Mitch and Move Pain Free, because a lot of times you have reoccurring back pain or you have random back pain and you don't know where it's coming from or why it's happening. One thing the movement assessment can do is at least show you some reasons that it may be happening. And, that information is vital in both preventing it and fixing it. I'm going to go ahead and put the movement assessment on the screen now so you can see exactly what I'm talking about.
Welcome to an exclusive Move Pain Free movement assessment. I'm recording this before Mark and I hopped on, so I hope you're getting a ton of value out of the conversation and finding all the answers you need. Before I dive into Mark's specific movement patterns, I want to give you a visual of the 3 pillars of pain-free human movement that we use at Move Pain Free to coach you toward using your body the way it was designed and start moving without back pain. First off, the 3 pillars of pain-free human movement are skeletal alignment, muscular tension, and joint access or space in your joints. Let's take a quick look at each of these. Skeletal alignment refers to how our skeleton is stacked relative to itself, both at rest and during movement. When we look at pain-free movers like young kids, injury-free super athletes, and even 89-year-old ladies that can sprint up hills like this one here, we always see the spine, which is shown by the chest direction, aligned with the hips and the ankles, which are shown by kneecap direction. During aligned standing, you'll see straight feet with the spine, hips, and ankles matched up perfectly with each other from the front view, and the hips will sit a bit behind the ribs from the side view, just to maintain those natural spinal curves. Without alignment, the feet start to turn out, the hips press forward, and we'll lose our natural spinal curves. During aligned movement, the spine will actually move from side to side while it transfers energy, and the hips and ankles will follow it in sequence. This brings us to muscular tension. When your muscular system is properly tensioned during movement, the spine will lead the action, and your hips and ankles will follow in a nice, easy, efficient path. When you lose natural tensioning, we'll see the leg rotate the literal opposite direction of the upper body when the foot leaves the ground. This causes issues with energy transfer, and when the body starts to compensate for this energy transfer issue, we start to run into pain and injury. The main way the body will compensate is by losing space in your joints. This brings us to the final pillar of human movement, joint access, or space in your joints. Your joint capsules, whether in your spine, your hips, your knees, or anywhere else, are meant to have lots of space to move. When you lose alignment and tension in your body will actually react by lowering the space available in those joints, and you'll lose access to a lot of your mobility. We call this compression. But why does the body do this? Well, it's acting as a bracing mechanism. Your body has lost confidence that it will naturally stay safe, so it's going to lower the movement ability of each joint and hopefully lower the damage being done in the process. But what really happens is you'll continually wear away at the tissues inside the joints since there's not much space to operate, and you'll keep running into pain and movement issues. Now, let's take a look at Mark's movement assessment film, and I'll show you what we look at with each of our clients. Looking at Mark's resting alignment, his feet are turned out just a bit. We usually want the second toe to be straight forward, and what that tells me is his hips are pressed forward, forcing his femurs and his shins to spin outward, and his feet are turned out to compensate for that. We'll definitely pay attention to this when it comes to his walking and his running patterns. As far as alignment from the side view, you'll see a bit of a resting hip thrust pattern, which is what's spinning those femurs and shins outward, but it also tilts the spine backwards and puts a bit of compression into the spine at rest. That compression usually carries over to the movement side of things. Now, in Mark's walk and his run, you'll see right away his leg actually spins in the opposite direction of his upper body. This is showing a lack of tension in his movement patterns. A simple way to say this is that his body has some slack in it, and his lower body isn't able to follow his spine for efficient movement and energy transfer. Now, Mark actually has good spinal action while he walks and runs, so that's a good sign that his spinal joints aren't compressed into having no space at all. We just need to work on the resting and movement alignment piece and find some muscular tension, and Mark's movement will shape up nicely.
So you can see how effective something like a movement assessment would be in trying to figure out what's going on with your back. So whether you get it from Mitch or you find somebody else on Instagram, or you know somebody, whatever it may be, get yourself a movement assessment and try to figure out why you're having these issues. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support for the channel, and we'll see you next time.